In this lesson, we're going to learn how to play the D major scale. The D major scale is probably the simplest, and we're going to learn how to play through one octave. In other words, what that means is we're going to play from one D to another D. So going from one D to another D means we're going to start from here, D, and we're going to end up here. D, E, F sharp, G, A, B, C sharp, D. That's how it goes. And then of course backwards. D, C sharp, B, A, G, F sharp, E, D. That's the scale. Now, how do we do that? Well, I hope that you'll review my lesson on finger patterns before you go further, particularly if you haven't watched it yet. But the basic idea is that we use one finger pattern with a twist. On the way up, we use this finger pattern. We only use 3 fingers on each string. Whole step, half step. It's going to be whole step, half step pattern on the D string, followed by the whole step, half step pattern on the A string. But on the way down, we're going to use our 4th fingers. Why? Well, if you recall from the lesson on setting up the left hand position, the 4th finger on 3 of the 4 strings actually plays the same note as 3 of the 4 open strings. An open string is a string without any fingers being on the string to stop it. So as an example, the 4th finger on the D string plays the note A, and that is the same note as the A string without any fingers. Let me demonstrate. 4 on D, same note, A. So we're going to use that 4th finger on the way down. We could use the 4th finger on the way up as well, but it's not really something that I want to use because it complicates matters. And the only reason I use 4 on the way down is to teach you a special technique called opening the hand and parachute fingers. We'll talk about that while we play. But the basic idea, as we said before, is whole step, half step on the way up. On the way down, it's going to be whole step, half step, whole step. Now that extra whole step is only going to be added on one of the 2 strings, and let's talk about it. I'll talk you through it as we play. Don't worry if you don't quite understand everything yet. It's going to make sense very soon. Now let's get our violins on our collarbones. And now, just as we talked about in the lesson on positioning the left hand, get your left hand ready to go, and then get your thumb on the corner of that fingerboard. First finger is ready to pluck the D string, and now we're going to play no fingers. First finger, whole step, half step. Let's do whole step, half step again now on the A string. First no fingers. Now 1 whole step, half step. Just like that. Let's do it again. Scale going up. Just like that. Now on the way down, we're going to do a little bit of a twist. Let's start now. Let's play the scale up one more time and then freeze. Don't move. Now, on the way down, we're going to repeat that top note. 3. Pick up each finger one at a time. Now, 4th finger on the D string. Bring that elbow, your left elbow, around to the right. Whole step, half step, whole step, no fingers. Let's do it again. 3rd finger on the A string. Half step, whole step, 4th finger, whole step, half step, whole step. Let's do the whole scale going up and down. Whole step, half step, A string, whole step, half step. Now I'm going to teach you something on the way down. 4. Now look at the position of my hand. See how these fingers are up in the air? My hand is open. That's very necessary when you're playing descending scale patterns. Now the next finger should come down like a parachute. Whole step, half step, parachute, parachute, no fingers. So what I've taught you is that your fingers have to come down like a parachute with your hand open on the way down, because here's a very important principle in violin playing. Intonation, that is the ability to play in tune, begins with the fingers before they've actually hit the fingerboard. If your finger's already down on the fingerboard, well, it's too late. So intonation begins up in the air, and you have to know exactly where those fingers are going each time. Let's do one last time. Whole step, half step. Whole step, half step. On the way down, we're going to go backwards, half step, whole step. Now fourth finger, whole step, half step, whole step. And that is how you play the D major scale.